everyone, welcome back to Tasty City, and I hope you all are doing great. So today on the menu we'll be making cabbage fufu. Cabbage fufu is a very healthy swallow, so if you're on a low carb diet, I highly recommend cabbage fufu for you. But before we get started, if you're new to my channel, please, there's a red button there that says subscribe. Please click on it, and after that click on the bell sign. And when you click on the bell sign, please choose the options that says all. That's where you get all of my notifications without missing out on any of my videos. So if you're interested to see how I made this cabbage fufu, then please stay tuned and keep watching. Okay guys, so for this recipe you will need one whole big cabbage, just like what you see here. Yeah, but if you're a very big heavy eater, like if you like swallow like no man's business, then you will need like 1.5 to 2 whole cabbage for this recipe. But with this amount of cabbage, I got exactly the amount of fufu you are seeing right here on the screen. So to begin this recipe, first of all, I will cut the cabbage into 2, and this cabbage has been washed earlier. Yeah, so I already washed this cabbage earlier, so I'm just going to cut it into 2. Alright, so once that is done, I'll cut off this part of the cabbage because we don't need it for this recipe, and I'll also take out the first and second layer of the cabbage. Yeah, so this is what I'm talking about. So make sure you get this thing out. You don't need it for this recipe. So what I'm going to do at this point is just to repeat the same process and then cut the cabbage into smaller chunks, you know, so that the blending process will be more easier. Alright guys, so at this point I'm just going to be adding in some of the chopped cabbage into my blender. I will set that aside and then I will continue the chopping process. Now you don't have to overload or overfill your blender, you know, in order for the blending process to be more easier for you. So I'm going to continue with the cutting process, and I'll be back when I'm done. So now that I have all the cabbage cut up, I'm just going to set it aside and then we'll proceed with the blending process. Alright, so here with me I have a cup of water. I'm just going to be adding in just a little bit of the water to the blender. Yeah, and then I'll set this one aside and then add more if more is needed. Remember, cabbage has a lot of water, so you don't need to add too much water. So now I'm just going to cover this up and blend until it is smooth. Okay, so now that is perfectly blended, I'll be adding in more cabbage. also going to be adding in more water to enable the blending process, just to get the blades of my blender moving. Okay guys, so this is perfectly smooth and I'm going to be pouring that out in a bit. So here with me I have a bowl and a chiffon cloth. I'm going to be pouring in the blended cabbage. I will lift it up and then press out the excess liquid. Now I'm going to be using this should I call it cabbage juice or or water? I don't know. Okay, I'm going to be using this liquid to blend the rest of the cabbage. Oh yes, I can see our cabbage fufu. Can you guys see that? Alright, so I'm just going to set that aside. I will blend up the remaining cabbage and then I'll be back. Alright, so we are done with the blending process and the next step is to squeeze out all the liquid in here. So I'm going to be pressing this with my hands just like what you see here until all the liquid is out. Now you can also use a heavy object. Yeah, you can just put a heavy object on it, but this process will take about 20 to 30 minutes, but I don't have that time because I have another recipe waiting for me. So for me this is just a faster way to get out all the liquid, you know, in less than 10 minutes. So I'm just going to continue the pressing process. I'll continue pressing this until I get out all the excess liquid. So this is what we got after taking out all the liquid. In here I have some blended oatmeal which I'll be using as my binder for this cabbage fufu. So because cabbage is gluten free and has very little or no amount of carbohydrate, we'll be needing something to, you know, bind this up to be able to mold it into swallow. Apart from oatmeal, you can also use celery husk or santan gum, but I'll be using oatmeal as my binder for this cabbage fufu recipe. Alright guys, so with that being said, now transfer the blended cabbage into the pot and start stirring on a medium heat for about 5 minutes or until it heats up. I've been stirring this for 5 minutes now on a medium heat, and at this point I'll be adding in about 2 to 3 tablespoons of the blended oatmeal. Yeah, so I didn't measure this, I just eyeballed it. So I'm just going to keep on stirring so that the oatmeal and the cabbage fufu can, you know, come together. I'm going to be stirring this for additional 2 to 3 minutes. Okay, so everything has come together, and at this point I will add in just a very little amount of water. I'm going to cover this up and allow to cook on a very low heat for at least 5 minutes. Okay guys, so finally our healthy cabbage fufu swallow is ready. So I'm just going to be giving it one more final stir, and then we'll see the final results. Alright guys, so here comes our cabbage fufu. Our fufu is ready. Okay guys, so this step of wrapping the fufu with a plastic film is totally optional, but this is just for, you know, for a good presentation. But if you won't be eating yours right away, then you can wrap it just the way I'm doing and put it inside your, you know, cooler so that it won't dry out by the time you're ready to eat it. So there you have it guys, our healthy, low carb, gluten-free fufu. Alright guys, so we've come to the end of today's video, and I hope you all enjoyed spending time with me. I hope you give this cabbage fufu recipe a try. Like, I highly recommend this cabbage fufu swallow because it is so healthy. So even though you are not on a low carb diet, I highly recommend cabbage fufu swallow. Can you see how it molds easily without sticking to the hands? Yeah. Remember, before you can get this to mold without sticking, you either have to use oatmeal flour, xanthan gum, or ceiling husk. You can use any binder of your choice for this cabbage fufu recipe. And I paired this cabbage fufu with my seafood okra soup. Yes guys, the recipe to this seafood okra soup will be coming up very soon. So please make sure your bell notification is on so you don't miss out on any of my video. And if you like the video, please be sure to click the like button. Subscribe to my channel if you are not already. Thank you all so much for watching. Stay blessed, and I will see you all in my next one.